Hello, hello, welcome, gorgeous beings of light. This is MavRa coming to you with the 100 Miracles in 100 Days project. A crow has definitely decided to join us today, along with the Effortless Manifesting and Awareness Activation Quickie. Just take a big breath in and let it out with a sigh. Just keep taking big belly breaths in, letting it out through the mouth. And bringing yourself into this present moment. Interestingly, just as I went to start, someone started mowing on their ride-on mower, and I said to God, can you whip up some wind and some birds to block that out? So I think I called up the noisiest crow in the neighborhood. Just breathe. When you feel your awareness has come back within, you can begin to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And just before we start today's activation and miracle, this is miracle number 33, so it is a quarter of the way through just about, and it is a perfect place to reiterate the purpose of these 100 miracles in 100 days. Because a beautiful friend of mine just wrote to me and said, Elle, I really love the awareness activation, but I'm so distracted by all of your talking. Kudos to her for being so honest, because it's when we are brutally honest that our healing can begin. And I pointed out to her, if she is being distracted, or if there's some kind of annoyance coming up, or something, anything that's trying to avoid her listening and breathing, then it is the ego trying to stop her getting to the greater parts of who she is. So I will speak more about that in the miracle today. But I thought it was really important to mention that I meditate for 2 to 4 hours before I do these. And I then listen to the miracle from the day before so that I know how to follow on. I also listen to these miracles when I have my own stuff going on, because I'm aware that they're being channeled, and I'm aware that if I listen to them and just breathe, they will get cleared. When you're breathing and you need to burp, yawn, sneeze or fart, that's all just stuff moving, tingling, gurgling, that's all stuff moving out your body. And all you need to do, I've done all the hard work, I've done the 2 to 4 hours of meditating to get to be this clear channel for what it is Source wants to bring to you. And all you have to do is breathe. And notice if you're distracted or if you're annoyed with my yappy stories that I'm telling you, just breathe. Let that come up, because that's how powerful I am, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. It's my voice that has been healing people for a long, long time. Unfortunately, some people don't see it as their stuff. But if you're feeling it, if you spot it, you got it, as they say. So I've also got a brand new thing to toss out the window that came this morning as a result of me trying to get in and was distracted myself, interestingly. And then when I listened to the forward focus miracle, the last one, I let out these massive burps throughout it. So It's always because there's something coming up to clear, and all you have to do is breathe. And if you need to burp, yawn, sneeze, or fart, do that. And if you, but if you're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose and just following the instructions, a lot of times it'll just clear with that. But you have to ask yourself, how come one beautiful lady who just followed the instructions in less than 30 days manifested $36,000 a year for the rest of her life? That's US dollars, $3,000 a month for the rest of her life. How come that happened for her? And the answer to that is because she raised her vibration up into the higher realms of light, into the higher frequencies of light, where magic happens. That's how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to live in magic. So I want you to continue to breathe. Congratulations if you've made it all the way here to day 33. Put everything else aside and just give yourself this time to connect to your divine I Am presence. And so I want you to bring your awareness into your body. We're going to do the effortless manifesting and awareness activation now with the new thing, and then I'll tell the miracle for today. Bring your awareness into your body. Everything to do with your body. Height, weight, shape, skin, hair, eye color, all of that. All of it that says, and all your gripes, pain, knees, in your knees, your aching back, your headaches, your rashes, toss it all out the window or out the door into another room and just breathe. And see if you can't sense yourself lightening up without all those stories about your body interfering. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose unless you're releasing. And just notice. And if you hear yourself saying, I can't feel anything, that's your ego trying to block it. Just ask the question, what can I feel? What can I feel? Now we want you to bring your awareness into your identity. Everything to do that identifies you as you in this world. So your name, address, phone number, date of birth, occupation, kids, cats, dogs, pets, family, degrees. Toss it all out the window and breathe. Because you're much more than your name and all of those things. Breathe. See if you can sense yourself getting lighter. Just notice. Become aware. Become aware of the stories your mind might be rattling off. Now please bring your awareness into all of your feelings and emotions and opinions. Doesn't matter if they're good opinions or good emotions or good feelings. Just toss them all out the window and see what's underneath that or out the door. And breathe. Bring your awareness now into your thoughts, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your subconscious mind. And toss all those out the window, out the door as well. Breathe. So this was the original awareness activation we did. But over the last week we've had a couple more, and we've had another one come in today. So we're going to do those now because they're just as important. But if this is new and you've just landed here today, then please go back and listen to the original Effortless Manifesting and Awareness Activation. It didn't have any miracles included in it, right at the very beginning, in early December. And it will explain more about this and make more sense to you, but it won't include these new 3 things we toss out the window. So just breathe for me, please. And bring your awareness into your heart, your beautiful, beautiful heart. And I want you to seek and find, gather and bind all of the heartache and heartbreak that you have stored somewhere in your heart. All the times you were heartbroken because someone you loved left you, someone you loved died, a pet died, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Whenever you felt that you had a broken heart and your heart just ached at the time, I want you to seek and find, gather and bind all of that, along with the wall you put around your heart to stop that happening, and toss that out the window or out the door as well, and breathe. See if you can notice the love that floods your entire 100 trillion cells when you take down that wall that we put up to stop being hurt, but it doesn't work, does it? Just keeps on happening while it's there, because this love, this infinite love of who you are, can't get out either. So just breathe. Just breathe. And now we're going to bring our awareness into anything and everything that's stopping and blocking the infinite wealth and abundance that exists in every cell of your being. Just breathe. Breathe into the magnificence of who you truly are, and toss out the window all lack and limitation, all poverty consciousness, and all struggle. It's not how your life is meant to be. It's how you have been trained to be. Because at the core of who you are, in your 100 trillion cells, you are infinite wealth, infinite love, infinite money, infinite abundance of everything, an abundance of love, joy, peace. But we can't feel that because of all of the stuff that we focus on in the 1% of who we are. Just breathe. See if you can notice how much lighter you feel. Or not. See if you can notice the distraction, the chatter in your mind. What's stopping you? And you can stop that by just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Because you can't do two things. You can't breathe in through the nose and out through the nose consciously and chatter in your mind. It just can't happen. Try it. It's when you stop focusing on your breathing, like, have an awareness of your breathing, that the chatter starts. You just check next time. And now for the new thing that came up this morning for me. So we want you to seek and find, gather and bind within your entire being, from head to toe, skin to bone, all of the shame and all of the pain and all of the suffering you have buried in your being. Oh, sorry, tingling from head to toe. And toss that out the window or out the door and just breathe. All of the shame and all of the pain and all of the suffering we have stored in the cells of our being, and let that go too, and breathe. And just breathe. Just breathe. And we're going to move on to Miracle 33 in our 100 Miracles in 100 Days project. And you should know that the 100 Miracles in 100 Days was just a way to bring activations, higher activations of light to you through my voice. But you're going to learn today that I've been healing people and irritating them with my voice for a long, long time. So just breathe. It took me a long time to stop going, oh, I'm this terrible person, when people were pointing the finger at me, and to recognize that I was indeed a very powerful healer that activated people's poop to the surface in a very, very short amount of time. So this story is called Minties. It's about Minties. So it's about 30 years ago. I used to do these intensives with a spectacular woman called Marianne Madden from the Inner Energy Center. And there was always about 25 people, and it was a weekend workshop. And you had to put your name down to attend them, and you had to be ready to attend them. You couldn't just say you want to go. They would pick when you were ready to go. It was fantastic. She was the teacher that taught me, when you're green you grow, when you're ripe you rot. Love that saying, meaning that when you continue to grow, you'll be here. When your time is up here on earth, you'll just return to the earth. And call a spade, a shovel, and a brick. So she was really like my first spiritual teacher. I went to the Inner Energy Centre for maybe 4 or 5 years when I first arrived here in Queensland from Perth. And yeah, it was amazing. It was really amazing. She helped me become aware of my own powerful spiritual gifts, talents and abilities. So, however, on these intensives she'd do, there was a section of it where she'd give everybody a minty and give everybody a butterscotch, or she'd give everybody a minty first. And you had to go give your minty to the person that was getting up your nose the most, 25 people in the class. And then you had to go take your butterscotch and give it to the person you most admired. And when you went back to your seat, you then had to write down why they were pissing you off, or why you gave them your minty. And then you took a butterscotch and you gave that to the person that you most admired, and you had to write down why you did that. There was 25 people in that class, and I got 22 of those minties. Oh my God. And I remember Marianne coming by and just whispering to me, you sure you're okay with this? I said, yeah, it's their stuff, isn't it? She goes, well done. Like it was like that was my test. I'd finally learnt that it wasn't my stuff. And one man gave me his butterscotch, and he said that he really loved me for my honesty and for my directness. But he was probably one of the most advanced people in the class there as well. So that's extremely telling. And the kookaburras are going off, which down the hill you may not be able to hear that, but that is an awesome abundance blessing when the kookaburras laugh like that. They're asking you to see the funny side of it. But what's fascinating about that is that, and this, I've remembered this, you know, I've done tons and tons of spiritual work, but I've remembered this because this is what really clenched it for me. She went to a beautiful young man, like, you know, in his 30s as well, but he was a doctor, and he was a very softly spoken, quiet man. And Marianne, because she does this out aloud, so I get to hear all the reasons they don't like me. And she says to him, what is it about Elle that you don't like? And he goes, she never fucking shuts up. Which is a very true point about me. It's the Irish and the Scottish in me, I think. And she goes, so, and that's in you. And he goes, me? And even his wife who's sitting next to him goes, like, screws her face up looking at him and looking at Marianne. He goes, I don't talk non-stop. And she says to him, what about your inner critic? What about that little voice that sits on your shoulder and tells you what you've done wrong, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough? What about that inner critic? He goes, oh, that never shuts up. Powerful healing for him, but even more powerful for me because it was the first time that I truly recognized all the people that have been pointing the finger at me for, at that point, I've been on my spiritual journey about 10, 12 years, that it wasn't my stuff, that I actually had the power to evoke people's stuff to the surface. I have to tell you, it took me about another good 10 years to integrate that fully. But that's why when people do my spiritual intensives, they love me, love me, love me. When they first meet me, they just love me to the moon and back again. And then they begin hating me because their stuff is coming up. So I always say you have to be prepared when you do one of my spiritual intensives that you love me, love me, love me, hate me, hate me, hate me, and then love me, love me, love me. If you get past the hating part and own your stuff, we can integrate all that. And so that's why my one-on-one spiritual, 10-week spiritual intensives are life-changing for all of them. And that's why I have 4 decades of testimonials on my website. And if you'd like to work with me, please contact me through my contact page on my website, www.elmaraseraphim.com. But you can just do exactly the same thing by just listening and breathing and transmuting your stuff as it comes up. Breathe. And any time you become out of alignment with your awareness, with your 99% untapped, pure potential, pure God source, which you can feel when you offload all that stuff out the window. If you're not in that state, then just come back to breathing, tossing your body out the window, your identity out the window, your feelings, emotions, and opinions out the window, your thoughts, unconscious mind, conscious mind, subconscious mind out the window, or heartache or heartbreak or heart walls out the window or out the door. Anything and everything that's stopping and blocking you from the infinite wealth and abundance that exists in your 99% untapped pure potential, pure God source, out the window. And today's cracker is all shame and pain. We should add in there blame, actually. Shame, blame, pain, and suffering. Toss that out the window. Because when you blame someone and you're pointing the finger at someone, you really need to be looking at the 3 fingers pointing back at you. Breathe. Yeah, we might make that. So when you're going through it, from now on, make it your own. Toss out all of the shame and blame and pain and suffering. Yeah, that'll work really well. Breathe. Feel how more connected you are to all of who you are. And while you're sitting in this awareness, this is where all the great healing takes place. Because you're not trying to fix it with the 1%, less than 1% of who you are. You are less than 1% physical. And you are 99.39% space. But that is divine source space that's connected to all time and space, all dimensions of light, all universes, galaxies, star systems. Breathe. Just breathe. Breathe into the magnificence of who you truly are, who you've always been until all that other stuff, what you look like, how you identify yourself, etc., etc., became more important than the divine essence of who you've always been. I don't know any faster way to get into your light than this. So just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe into the magnificence of who you truly are. Let that wake up in every one of your 100 trillion cells and your 100 trillion telomeres. And if my talking, my speaking, my sharing of these miracles irritates you, it is because it is powerfully bringing up your poop. And all you have to do is breathe in order to transmute it back to light for yourself. Good job. Well done. Alrighty, you gorgeous beings of light. My deepest love and richest blessings to you all always. Namaste, Espavo, and I'll see you tomorrow.